What is up, Earthnoids and Spacenoids? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode, we are returning to Universal Century 0083 as we continue our coverage of Mobile Suit Gundam 0083 Rebellion. Last time, we were introduced to Ko, Uraki, and Keith as they graduated and became Mobile Suit pilots. All the while, the Delaz fleet aren't informed of new Gundams being built by Anaheim Electronics. This time, we will see a flashback of the Zeon power vacuum created after the 1-year war. The Albion makes it to Torrington Base, and Gato steals the Gundam. So let's get into this. Nina wasn't expecting Unit 2 to be finished so quickly. Paula thinks that Nina is biased towards Unit 1. Even though the Zeonic team made Unit 2, Nina and Anaheim were a part of the design process for both units and loves them equally. Gato and Delaz look over the data of Unit 2 that they stole. Unit 2 contains a nuke and breaks the Antarctic Treaty. Knowing this, they now think it is time to attack. We flash back to the Battle of Abawaku. Like the very beginning of the OVA, we see that Delaz is informed that Gato's ship, the Doroa, has been destroyed and Giran has been killed. Gato wants to go out, but Delaz insists that he live to fight another day and to put his life in his hands. The Delaz fleet and all remaining Abawaku forces gather at Karama Point. As they regroup, they realize that Side 3 has already surrendered. Some were prepared for a final battle at Side 3, while others expected this outcome. Yuri Hostler tells Delaz that he intends to rally around Maharaja Khan and return to Axis. Many find this cowardly, but others find it smart to regroup and think things through. There is no central consensus. A power vacuum is emerging. Chima isn't having any of it. She heads out to attack Captain Asakura and his ship. As she goes out, she blames these mindless Zeon drones for the destruction of her home colony, Mahal. She was forced to gas her colony, which was used as the solar ray during the end of the 1-year war. They told her it was sleeping gas. They lied to her, forcing Zeon to commit genocide on their own people. Gato heads out to stop her from attacking her own people. She begins attacking him with her beam saber. As they fight, Delaz tells Gato to stop. He instantly listens, and Chima realizes that he stopped at the expense of his own life. He would die for Delaz. She realizes perhaps there is some honor still in Zeon. She has no interest in following the cowards back to Axis. The Chima fleet heads off on their own towards the Earth sphere. Hassler asks Delaz one more time if he will join them at Axis. He decides he will remain at the Earth sphere, and any who wish to do so should follow him. It has been 3 years since the remaining Zeon fleet split, and thanks Gato for remaining loyal. He says this new operation will be called Stardust. The Albion makes its way to Granada. Lucette wants to know if the rumors are true about her joining the Albion crew. She doesn't want to part with her new Gundam babies. Lucette wonders if this is a way to distract her from what happened 3 years ago. She ignores her. That is when Nina's Hato comes up to her. She won't be able to bring him with her. She tells her team that they are going to touch down at Torrington Base in Australia. That is where they plan on testing the Gundam under Earth gravity. Lucette is being transferred to Levy and Rose to do some dock work. She tells Nina to forget what she just said and walks away. At least in the manga, they actually tease Gato and Nina. The OVA just kind of throws it at you at the end. Gato and Delaz prep for their mission to attack Torrington Base. Meanwhile, at Torrington Base, Ko is a sitting duck as his hip balancer went out, and Keith and the other rookies head out without him in their Zaku F2 types. Just Ko's luck. As the sun sets on Earth, the Albion begins its descent. This is Nina's first time on Earth and has never seen a sunset. They are making their way to Jaburo before they head to Australia. They will begin their search for a test pilot for the Gundam. Reben Karks is sparring against Ko. He constantly calls him a newbie, but Ko gets the upper hand and wins the bout. For winning, they can't call Ko a newbie anymore. Lieutenant Burning tells the two to stop fooling around and the mobile suits are not toys. But Kalent messes with Burning by suggesting that playing and training are the same thing. He's being pedantic and pissing Burning off. When we covered the OVA, we didn't really talk about how these two have had a constant rivalry going on for years. They both have the same rank, so no one can pull rank on one another. He teases and says that all that test pilots do is play, while Kalent, who is the commander of the defense force at Torrington Base, actually fights. Ooh, shots fired. Burning tells him to come down and say it to his face. Ko agrees with Burning, but only because being a test pilot allows him to use the newest mobile suits. Gato travels from Luna 2 to Kilimanjaro. He meets with his contact and notes that immigration is sloppy on Earth. They head out to the docks to meet Dreiser and his team of Zeon remnants pretending to be sailors. Dreiser shows up for a quick minute in the OVA, but here we see him and Gato plotting before the mission. He shows Gato his Jukon-class sub. Dreiser's men is getting drunk off their remaining booze before their mission. They christen the ship with a golden shower. The team pulls down their pants and begin pissing pissing on the Jukan. Dracer is embarrassed, but Gato chalks it up to excitement. These men have been in hiding for 3 years and are just ready to finally serve Zeon once again. He understands because he too is trembling with excitement. Dracer pops a bottle and they all celebrate. The next morning, the team makes their leave for Australia. Back at Torrington Base, Burning shows the team the GM powered. This new armor is being fitted on Dick Allen's GM. Ko thinks he could still take it with his Zaku F2. Burning tells them they will have a mock battle to test the powered GM tomorrow. It will be a 3v1. He dismisses the team for the day, but Ko wants to help the mechanics with the powered GM. He says he can't beat the enemy if he doesn't know how it works. The next day, they begin the mock battle. This is essentially where the OVA begins. The 3 Zakus split up and try to surround the powered GM. They scale the wall of an abandoned building and fight. Ko is struggling to keep up with the GM. Keith is mad as he wanted the backpack on the powered GM to go on his Zaku. Ko falls into the rubble of a building. He once again needs a pickup as he is stuck. Dick Allen continues testing the unit. Back on the Albion, Nina meets with Mora for the first time. She likes her because she isn't a military type. She wants to go over maintenance work with her. Mora tells her that Nina inspires her with her passion for mobile suits. She wonders why she is on the bridge. Captain Synapse told Nina about the crater that was once Sydney, and it made her think about weapons of war. She loves Gundams, but she isn't stupid about what their true purpose is. Mora calms her down by reminding her that they aren't at war anymore. Gato is impressed that the Zeon remnants were able to maintain the ZAML. We talked about this unit during the OVA, but let's briefly break it down again. The YMS-16 ZAML is a heavy long-range mobile suit with a 2-seat cockpit and an amazing 680mm cannon. It was made at California Base, and only 3 are known to be in existence. Inside of the ZAML, they are able to spot the Pegasus-class ship landing right on time. Gato informs the Jukan. He tells Dracer to send a message into space informing Delaz that Operation Stardust has begun. As Keith finishes 100 push-ups, the Albion lands. Everyone stares in amazement. Ko wonders if this ship also has a Gundam like White Base. Burning says they will get all the details at tomorrow's meeting. Like the OVA, Ko and Keith get into a jeep and rush over to the new ship to see the Gundams. Nina sees this and tells the two that this is off limits, but Ko is in awe over the GPO-2. He looks over to see a second Gundam, the GPO-1. One thing to note about the GPO-1 in this manga is that it has a goggle eye sensor instead of the typical 2 eye sensors found on the Gundam, which we see in the OVA. Keith is interested in talking to Nina, but Ko is only concerned about the Gundams. She keeps telling him that this place is off limits. Like the anime, Keith asks Nina on a date, but he lays it on too thick, and Mora accepts Keith's offer on Nina's behalf. Ko is able to spot things quickly. He knows Unit 1 uses a core block system, and Unit 2's bazooka uses a nuke just by looking at it. Synapse gets approval to open the nuclear bunker, which hasn't been opened since the signing of the Antarctic Treaty. Tomorrow, they plan on testing Unit 2. Many nukes are stored within the bunker. Meanwhile, Nick Orville is leaving Torrington Base to see the sunset at a local spot. Of course, he is working with Zeon and meeting up with Gato. Nina is working, but Mora forces her to leave the ship as she has never officially stepped foot on Earth. As she steps on Earth, she says it isn't anything special. Nick Orville meets with Gato and gives him a Fetty uniform to wear. The two hop back into the jeep and they head back to the base. At the cafeteria, Ko asks for no carrots and gets a big portion of carrots against his will. As they go to eat, they run into Mora and Nina. He strikes up a conversation about the Choban armor used on Unit 1. Ko tells Nina he wants to be the Gundam pilot, but Nina is blunt and tells him that he only trained on older models. But Ko thinks that a Zaku is a fine machine. Nina happens to agree. Nick Orville is able to sneak back onto base with Gato. Nina and Captain Synapse prep the nuke on GPO-2 for tomorrow's test. Ko and Keith are slightly drunk as they watch Nina prep the nuke. She tells them to go away. As they stumble away in a drunken stupor, they run into Anneville and salute him. He asks Ko if they finished loading the warhead. He says he thinks so. Gato jumps into GPO-2. He says that Zeon will rise again. And that will do it for this episode. I love the flashback of the Zeon remnants losing a Bawaku and figuring out their next move. As the zombies died, it created a power vacuum. Many fled to Axis, but many put the future of Zeon in their own hands. Delaz is one of those people. Next time, Gato will steal GPO-2, and Ko will get into GPO-1 for the first time. As they fight, Torrington Base will come under attack. But that will do it for now, new types. Remember, don't trust your higher-ups when they say they are using sleeping gas. It isn't sleeping gas. Peace.